only to those parents who have not responded to numerous notices and attempts by the school district to intervene and have been offered language-accessible services to address the child's truancy. As a result, we've removed the opposition of the ACLU, the Asian Law Caucus, and the Advancement Project. The bill has enjoyed bipartisan support. I would ask for your concurrence on the Assembly amendments.
Is there any discussion or debate? Seeing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onnested? No. Alquist? Aye. Ashburn? Aye. Blakesley? Aye. Calderon? Aye. Cedillo? Cogdell? Corbett? Correa? No. Denham? No. DeSaulnier? Aye. Ducheney? No. Dutton? Aye. Emerson? Aye. Flores? Aye. Hancock? Harmon? Aye. Hollingsworth? Huff? Aye. Kehoe? Aye. Leno? Aye. Liu? Aye. Lowenthal? Negrete McLeod? No. Oropesa? Padilla? Aye. Pavley? Price? Aye. Romero? Runner? Smidian? Steinberg? Strickland? Walters? No. Wiggins? Wolk? Aye. Wright? Aye. Wyland? Yee? Yee, aye. Blakesley, aye to no.
Aye 17, no 7. Senator Leno moves a call. File item 25. Senator Leno, Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 1399 by Senator Leno, enacting to parole.
Thank you, Madam President. This bill does deal with the creation of medical parole, so we would be in the company of 36 other states in saving the Department of Corrections upwards of $200 million each year. The amendments taken in the Assembly were at the request of the administration and the Department of Corrections to narrow the scope of who would be eligible for medical parole. It's very specific now, quote, permanently medically incapacitated with a medical condition that renders him or her permanently unable to perform activities of basic daily living and results in the prisoner requiring 24-hour care, and that the incapacitation did not exist at the time of the sentencing. So it's even a narrow universe. And as a result, the Department of Corrections is now in full support of the bill. I would ask for your aye vote.
Is there any discussion or debate? Seeing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onnested? No. Alquist? Aye. Ashburn? Blakesley? Calderon? Aye. Cedillo? Cogdill? Corbett? Correa? No. Denham? No. DeSaulnier? Aye. Ducheney? Aye. Dutton? No. Emerson? Flores? Aye. Hancock? Aye. Harmon? No. Hollingsworth? Huff? No. Kehoe? Aye. Leno? Aye. Liu? Aye. Lowenthal? Aye. Negrete McLeod? Aye. Oropesa? Padilla? Aye. Pavley? Aye. Price? Aye. Romero?
Aye.
Aye. Runner? Smidian? Steinberg? Strickland? No. Walters? No. Wiggins? Wolk? Aye. Wright? Aye. Wyland? Yee? Yee, aye. Blakesley, no. Emerson, no.
Ayes 18, noes 10. Senator Leno moves a call. File item 26. Senator Yee, Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 1451 by Senator Yee, enacting to instructional materials.
Thank you very much, Madam President. This bill is coming back to us from the Assembly for concurrence on amendments. The amendments were clarifying in nature and updated the dates and code section referenced in this bill. And with that, urge and I vote.
Is there any discussion or debate? Seeing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onnested? No. Alquist? Aye. Ashburn? Blakesley? No. Calderon? Aye. Cedillo? Cogdill? No. Corbett? Correa? Aye. Denham? No. DeSaulnier? Aye. Ducheney? Aye. Dutton? Emerson? No. Dutton, no. Flores? Aye. Hancock? Aye. Harmon? No. Hollingsworth? Huff? No Kehoe. Leno. I Liu. I Lowenthal. I Negrete McLeod. I Oropesa Padilla. I Pavley. Price. I Romero.
Aye.
I Runner. Semidian. Steinberg. Strickland. No Walters. No Wiggins. Wolk. I Wright. I Wyland. Yee. Yee I. Kehoe I. Pavley I.
Ayes 19, noes 10. Senator Yee moves a call. File item 27. Senator Padilla, Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 1192 by Senator Oropesa, enacting to airports.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, this is SB 1192, which would provide airports statewide with a mechanism to finance consolidated rental car facilities. The amendments taken to the Senate were simply to address chaptering out problems with AB 2059 by Assemblymember Calderon, as well as clarifying auditing requirements placed on the State Controller's Office. Ask for your aye vote.
Is there any discussion or debate? Seeing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onnested. No. Alquist. Aye. Ashburn. Blakesley. Calderon. Aye. Cedillo. Cogdill. No. Corbett. Correa. No. Denham. No. DeSaulnier. Aye. Ducheney. Aye. Dutton. Emerson. Flores. Aye. Hancock. Harmon. Hollingsworth. Huff. No. Kehoe. I Leno. I Liu. I Lowenthal. I Negrete McLeod. Oropesa Padilla. I Pavley. I Price. I Romero.
Aye.
I Runner. Semidian. Steinberg. Strickland. No Walters. No Wiggins. Wolk. I Wright. I Wyland. Yee. Yee I. Dutton no. Corbett I. Hancock I. Blakesley no. Harmon no. Semidian I.
Ayes 19, noes 10. Senator Padilla moves a call. Members, the members of the EQ committee have adjourned and have returned to the floor. Members of the Health Committee, please proceed to room 3191. Members of the Health Committee, please proceed to room 3191. Bills will remain on call. Under motions and resolutions without objection, pursuant to Joint Rule 33.1, Joint Rule 61B16 will be suspended for Assembly Bill 2600. This request has been approved by the Rules Committee. Members, we have a number of Senate bills under unfinished business that have been wafted to the floor without reference to file. We're going to take these up at this time. Senator DeSaulnier, you have SB 965. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 965 by Senator DeSaulnier, enactment to transportation.
Madam President, this is the item, the Senate item that relates to high-speed rail and making us be able to get the ARA funds. This is a companion bill to Assemblymember Galgiani's bill that I presented a few days ago. The amendments in the Assembly were technical. They were just to make sure that we are compatible with the Galgiani bill. So I'd ask for your aye vote.
Is there any discussion or debate? Seeing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onnested. No. Alquist. Aye. Ashburn. Blakesley. Calderon. Cedillo. Cogdill. Aye. Corbett. Aye. Correa. Aye. Denham. DeSaulnier. Aye. Ducheney. Dutton. No. Emerson. No. Flores. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Harmon. No. Hollingsworth. No. Huff. Aye. Kehoe. Aye. Leno. Aye. Liu. Aye. Lowenthal. Aye. Negrete McLeod. Oropesa, Padilla, Pavley, Price, I. Romero, Runner, Smidian, I. Steinberg, Strickland, Walters, no. Wiggins, Wolk, I. Wright, I. Wyland, Yee. Blakeslee, no.
I-16, no 7. Senator Desaulnier moves a call. Senator Simidian, are you prepared to take up SB 1425 without reference to filed? Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 1425 by Senator Simidian, enacting to public retirement systems.
Thank you, Madam President and members. This measure addresses the phenomenon of pension spiking and attempts to curtail that phenomenon by limiting compensation which may be included in the calculation for retirement purposes. It also addresses the issue of revolving door double dipping by requiring that there be at least 6 months between the time someone retires and the time that they come back to work in the same organization. Assembly amendments address a number of technical issues, but most specifically provide for a 1-year delay in implementation in order to give both organizations and individuals reasonable chance to make plans for the future. I believe there is support on both sides, and I would respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Is there any discussion or debate? Seeing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onstead, Alquist, Ashburn, Blakeslee, aye. Calderon, Cedillo, Cogdill, aye. Corbett, aye. Correa, Denham, aye. Desaulnier, aye. Ducheney, Dutton, Emerson, aye. Flores, aye. Hancock, aye. Harmon, aye. Hollingsworth, aye. Huff, aye. Kehoe, aye. Leno, Liu, aye. Lowenthal, aye. Negrete McLeod, Oropesa, Padilla, Pavley, Price, Romero, aye. Runner, Smidian, aye. Steinberg, Strickland, Walters, aye. Wiggins, Wolk, aye. Wright, aye. Wyland, Yee. Correa, aye.
Ayes 20, no 0. The Senator Simidian moves a call. File item 19, Senator Flores for Senator Wiggins. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 1093 by Senator Wiggins, enacting to Fish and Game and making an appropriation therefore.
Thank you, Madam President. This bill extends the sunset on the Dungeness Crab Task Force and authorizes the Department of Fish and Game to institute a pilot program for Dungeness crab trap limits. The Assembly amendments required the Department of Fish and Game to get consensus on the regulations, define consensus, add adherence to the task force recommendations. Would ask for an aye vote.
Is there any discussion or debate? Seeing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onstead, Alquist, Ashburn, Blakeslee, Calderon, Cedillo, Cogdill, no. Corbett, aye. Correa, Denham, no. Desaulnier, aye. Ducheney, Dutton, Emerson, no. Flores, aye. Hancock, Harmon, no. Hollingsworth, no. Huff, no. Kehoe, Leno, Liu, aye. Lowenthal, aye. Negrete McLeod, Oropesa, Padilla, aye. Pavley, Price, Romero,
Aye.
aye. Runner, Smidian, aye. Steinberg, Strickland, Walters, no. Wiggins, Wolk, aye. Wright, aye. Wyland, Yee.
Ayes 10.
Correa, no.
Ayes 10, noes 8. Senator Flores moves a call. Senator Calderon, are you prepared to take up the Committee on Banking Bill SB 847? Pass temporarily. Senator Yee, pass temporarily. Members, we have completed the unfinished business file. Is there any other member who has an item to take up at this time whose name I have previously called? Okay, members, we are going to move to Assembly Bill's third reading file. Senator DeSaulnier, we'll begin with you. We have a couple of items without reference to file. Let's begin with AB 222. Senator DeSaulnier, the desk does not yet have possession of that. Let's go to AB 2358. AB 2358 is eligible. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 2358 by Assemblymember De Leon, enacting to ammunition.
Thank you, Madam President and colleagues. AB 2358 by Assemblymember De Leon clarifies last year's AB 962 concerning handgun ammunition sales in several ways and creates new consumer protections. First, of the more than 100 types of handgun ammunition available in the market today, this measure specifies that AB 962 shall only apply to 16 types. Second, it clarifies that Internet purchases of ammunition will remain legal in California. Third, the bill protects consumer confidentiality by specifying that ammunition records cannot be provided to a third party, and further, that public agencies must keep the consumer data that they collect confidential. Finally, the bill states that local law enforcement must be informed of a dealer's intent to sell handgun ammunition. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Is there any discussion or debate? Seeing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onnested, Alquist, Ashburn, Blakesley, Calderon, aye. Cedillo, Cogdill, no. Corbett, aye. Correa, no. Denham, no. DeSaulnier, aye. Duchesne, Dutton, Emerson, no. Flores, aye. Hancock, aye. Harmon, no. Hollingsworth, no. Huff, no. Kehoe, aye. Leno, Liu, aye. Lowenthal, Negrete McLeod, Oropesa, Padilla, aye. Pavley, Price, aye. Romero,
Aye.
aye. Runner, Smidian, Steinberg, Strickland, Walters, no. Wiggins, Wolk, Wright, aye. Wyland, Yee, Blakesley, no. Smidian, aye.
Ayes 12, noes 9. Senator DeSaulnier moves a call. Members, under motions and resolution, or actually not under motions and resolution, but on, we're going to lift the call on file item 19. File item 19. Secretary, call the absentees.
Onnested, Alquist, Ashburn, Blakesley, Calderon, aye. Cedillo, Duchesne, Dutton, Hancock, Kehoe, Leno, Negrete McLeod, Oropesa, Pavley, Price, aye. Runner, Steinberg, Strickland, Wiggins, Wyland, Yee. Harmon, no. Aye. Hancock, aye.
Ayes 14, noes 7. The amendments are not concurred in. Without objection, reconsideration will be granted. Ayes 37, noes 0. Without objection, this item will be re-referred to the Rules Committee. Senator Liu, AB 12, without reference to file. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 12 by Assemblymember Bell, enacting to foster children.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, AB 12 is an opportunity to help steer foster youth on a path to self-sufficiency and productivity instead of one of homelessness. AB 12 opts California into the Federal Fostering Connections to Success Act, signed in 2008 by President Bush. The Federal Act makes available federal funds for our Kin Caregiver Supports Program, KinGAP, and makes available federal funds to further support our youth who are now forced to exit foster care at age 18. All of us want to do more to help foster youth be able to succeed success in education and employment, and AB 12 will provide the connection to success for foster youth. The floor amendments taken on August 20th ensure significant cost reductions by prohibiting placement of foster youth in costly group homes, except when absolutely necessary due to medical conditions. They provide the state with a way to better leverage existing funds in our transitional housing program, and they make the final year of foster care for the 20-year-olds contingent upon appropriations by the legislature. AB 12 enjoys strong bipartisan support. It's sponsored by 9 organizations, including California Youth Connection, California Alliance for Child and Family Services. The bill is supported by hundreds of other organizations, and I ask for your support.
Is there any discussion or debate? Seeing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onnested, Alquist, Ashburn, Blakesley, Calderon, I. Cedillo, Cogdill, no. Corbett, I. Correa, I. Denham, no. DeSaulnier, I. Ducheney, Dutton, Emerson, Flores, I. Hancock, I. Harmon, no. Hollingsworth, Huff, no. Kehoe, I. Leno, Liu, I. Lowenthal, I. Negrete McLeod, Oropesa, Padilla, I. Pavley, Price, I. Romero, I. Runner, Smidian, I. Steinberg, Strickland, Walters, no. Wiggins, Wolk, I. Wright, I. Wyland, no. Yee, Yee, I.
I-16.
Blakesley, I.
I-17, no 6. Senator Liu moves a call. Senator Yee, are you prepared to take up Senate Bill 1391 without reference to file? Secretary,
Yes,
please read.
Senate Bill 1391 by Senator Yee, enacting to taxation.
Thank you very much, Madam President and Senators. The amendments taken in the Assembly made several changes to create a fair method to recapture the tax expenditures that reward job creation and takes into account fluctuation and maximizes the effectiveness and of this particular measure. The basic premise on this is that if, in fact, we're going to give tax credit and it is predicated on certain kinds of performance, such as business staying in California, creating a certain number of jobs, and so on, that then we should establish metrics and we should then hold individuals accountable to those particular metrics, that you generate the kinds of results that allow you to get these particular tax credit. That's all it does. If you're not going to do that, then you ought not to benefit from tax credit. With that, urge and I vote.
Is there any discussion or debate? Seeing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onnested, Alquist, Ashburn, Blakesley, Calderon, Cedillo, Cogdill, no. Corbett, I. Correa, no. Denham, no. DeSaulnier, Ducheney, Dutton, Emerson, Flores, I. Hancock, I. Harmon, no. Hollingsworth, Huff, Kehoe, I. Leno, Liu, I. Lowenthal, I. Negrete McLeod, Oropesa, Padilla, I. Pavley, Price, Romero, I. Runner, Smidian, I. Steinberg, Strickland, Walters, no. Wiggins, Wolk, I. Wright, I. Wyland, no. Yee, Yee, I. Dutton, no. Emerson, no.
Ayes 12 and
Ashburn, no.
Ayes 12, noes 9. Senator Yee moves a call. SB 1029 by Senator Yee. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 1029 by Senator Yee, enacting to public health.
Thank you very much, Madam President. And this again comes back to us on concurrence of Assembly amendments, and they were more clarifying in nature. Essentially, what this bill will do is to allow the purchase of needles. As you can imagine, it is a tremendous health risk when individuals use dirty needle. This is a way of helping and saving lives. With that, urge an aye vote.
Is there any discussion or debate? Seeing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onnested, Alquist, Ashburn, Blakesley, no. Calderon, aye. Cedillo, Cogdill, no. Corbett, aye. Correa, Denham, no. DeSaulnier, aye. Ducheney, Dutton, no. Emerson, Flores, aye. Hancock, aye. Harmon, no. Hollingsworth, Huff, Kehoe, aye. Leno, Liu, Lowenthal, aye. Negrete McLeod, Oropesa, Padilla, aye. Pavley, Price, aye. Romero,
Aye.
aye. Runner, Smidian, aye. Steinberg, Strickland, Walters, no. Wiggins, Wolk, no. Wright, aye. Wyland, no. Yee, aye. Ashburn, no. Correa, no.
Ayes 13, noes 10. Senator Yee moves a call. Members, we're going to return to Assembly Bill's third reading file. We're going to begin at file item 96. Senator Kehoe, Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 185 by Assembly Member Buchanan, enacting to education and making an appropriation therefore to take effect immediately, usual and current expenses.
Thank you very much, Madam President. AB 185 proposes two actions that will provide significant funding to California schools. The first portion of the bill appropriates over $400 million in federal funds for school improvement grants for K through 12 education and to develop improvement plans for low-performing schools in K through 12. The second portion of the bill appropriates federal stabilization money at every level, K through 12, California community colleges, California State University, and the University of California for mitigating state funding reductions. It left the appropriations, the Senate Appropriations Committee yesterday with unanimous support, and members, I would ask for your aye vote as well.
Is there any discussion or debate? Seeing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onnested, Alquist, Ashburn, aye. Blakesley, aye. Calderon, aye. Cedillo, Cogdill, aye. Corbett, aye. Correa, Denham, aye. DeSaulnier, aye. Ducheney, Dutton, Emerson, aye. Flores, aye. Hancock, aye. Harmon, aye. Hollingsworth, Huff, Kehoe, aye. Leno, Liu, Lowenthal, aye. Negrete McLeod, Oropesa, Padilla, aye. Pavley, Price, aye. Romero, aye. Runner, Smidian, aye. Steinberg, Strickland, Walters, aye. Wiggins, Wolk, aye. Wright, aye. Wyland, aye. Yee, aye. Correa, aye. Lowenthal we have as aye.
Ayes 23, noes 0. Senator Kehoe moves a call. Senator Emerson, is Senator Emerson on the floor? Members, we have a number of members, of course, in the Health Committee. Rather than going through the file one by one, I'm going to ask Senator Emerson. I understand you're prepared to take up AB 52 without reference to file? Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 52 by Assembly Member Portantino, enacting to umbilical cord blood banking and declaring the urge thereof to take effect immediately.
Thank you, Madam President and members. I rise in support of AB 52, which will allow California to participate with the world in collecting umbilical cord blood to save lives and money. No matter what our healthcare financing system looks like, it is critical that we focus on reducing costs. Cord blood transplants will save the healthcare system and the state significant monies. The ability to find a match will mean many serious, costly diseases will be cured, saving the state and insurers millions of dollars in treatment. Currently, over 70 diseases can be treated and cured, such as leukemia, sickle cell, and thalassemia. Furthermore, units that are unsuitable for transplantation can still be used for research. Research will find even more conditions for which cord blood can be used, including regenerative cures. Not only will we save healthcare dollars, but cord blood could be an economic engine for research in California. I urge your aye vote.
Is there any discussion or debate? Seeing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onnested, Alquist, Ashburn, I. Blakesley, I. Calderon, I. Cedillo, Cogdill, I. Corbett, I. Correa, Denham, I. DeSaulnier, I. Ducheney, Dutton, Emerson, I. Flores, Hancock, I. Harmon, I. Hollingsworth, Huff, I. Kehoe, I. Leno, Liu, Lowenthal, I. Negrete McLeod, Oropesa, Padilla, I. Pavley, Price, I. Romero,
Aye.
I. Runner, Smidian, I. Steinberg, Strickland, Walters, I. Wiggins, Wolk, I. Wright, I. Wyland, I. Yee. Yee, aye. Correa, aye.
Ayes 23, no 0 on the urgency. Ayes 23, no 0 on the measure. Senator Emerson moves a call. Do we have a floor manager for AB 1676 by Assemblymember Fuentes? Do we have a floor manager for AB 1955 by Assemblymember De La Torre? We'll return to you. Senator Yee, are you prepared to take up file item 35? And then we'll go to Senator Simidian, SB 1456. Let's go to Senator Yee, file item 35.
Senate Resolution 45 by Senator Yee relative to the Irish reunification.
Thank you very much, Madam President and Senators. This measure would express the strong support of the California legislature for Irish reunification by all peaceful means, and urge that the California congressional delegation support all peaceful actions that support the final reunification of the island of Ireland by all electoral and diplomatic means necessary. Senators, all people of this world never would want any of their families to be divided. If it does happen, there's always a strong desire to be reunited once again, not only as a family, but as a community, as a country, as a nation. And this is what this resolution tries to do, not by arms, but by peaceful means. And with that, urge and I vote.
Is there any discussion or debate? Members, we can adopt this with the voice vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. Senator Simidian, SB 1456. Secretary, please read. This is without reference to file.
Senate Bill 1456 by Senator Simidian, enacting to environmental quality and declaring the urge thereof to take effect immediately.
Thank you, Madam President. This is a CEQA-related matter which, when it left the Senate, simply provided that we would provide for mediation after an action is filed and intending that to be conducted concurrently with any judicial proceeding, just like a settlement conference, in order to facilitate the speedy resolution of an issue. Assembly amendments broaden the scope of the bill and now provide for mediation before potential litigation to resolve CEQA disputes, thereby helping to avoid costly litigation. They allow the Attorney General to request an expedited schedule to resolve CEQA cases. They also allow any party to request imposition of a penalty for a frivolous claim made in the course of CEQA litigation, provides more accountability for an organization challenging a project that is formed after project approval and establishes procedures in the state statutes for tiering environmental documents. We think all of these things can be done helpfully during a difficult time without in any way compromising the quality of our environmental review. There's a January 1, 2016 sunset date, and there are double joining amendments to address chaptering conflicts with another bill. Let me correct a misstatement I made in committee. Let me say that again, Madam President, a misstatement in committee. The bill did not pass out of the Assembly on a 65-0 vote. When all the add-ons were counted, the bill passed out of the Assembly on a 77-1 vote. The bill is co-authored by Senator Steinberg and Senator Ashburn, and it is also co-authored by Assembly members Davis, Logue, and Fuller. I believe there is support on both sides, and I would respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Is there any discussion or debate? Seeing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onnested, Alquist, Ashburn, aye. Blakeslee, aye. Calderon, aye. Cedillo, Coghill, aye. Corbett, aye. Correa, Denham, aye. DeSaulnier, Ducheney, Dutton, Emerson, Flores, aye. Hancock, aye. Harmon, aye. Hollingsworth, Huff, aye. Kehoe, aye. Leno, Liu, Lowenthal, aye. Negrete McLeod, Oropesa, Padilla, aye. Pavley, Price, aye. Romero,
Aye.
aye. Runner, Semidian, aye. Steinberg, Strickland, Walters, aye. Wiggins, Wolk, aye. Wright, aye. Wyland, aye. Yee, Correa, aye.
Ayes 21, noes.
Dutton, aye.
Ayes 22, no 0 on the urgency. Ayes 22, no 0 on the measure. Senator Semidian moves a call. Senator Correa, are you prepared to take up your item at this time? And what is the file item? What is the number?
AB 1955, Madam President.
AB 1955. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 1955 by Assemblymember De La Torre, enacting to public officers and declaring the urgency thereof to take effect immediately.
Thank you, Madam President. Senators, this is one of several bills stemming from this summer's compensation scandal in the city of Bell. This bill addresses the issue of excess compensation in charter cities. Those cities with excess compensation will trigger punitive provisions unless they are one of 13 cities granted special exemption by this bill. Specifically, this bill defines excess compensation as paying more than what the state law allows. And if in fact you have excess compensation, such will trigger consequences including a prohibition on new redevelopment debt and a prohibition on issuing new bonds or notes. Also, this bill provides that if a city charter specifies that its council members are full-times, and that city will be outside that definition of excess compensation. I ask for an aye vote.
Is there any discussion or debate? Seeing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onnested, Alquist, Ashburn, no. Blakeslee, Calderon, Cedillo, Cogdill, no. Corbett, aye. Correa, aye. Denham, no. DeSaulnier, Ducheney, Dutton, no. Emerson, Flores, aye. Hancock, Harmon, Hollingsworth, Huff, no. Kehoe, aye. Leno, Liu, Lowenthal, aye. Negrete McLeod, Oropesa, Padilla, aye. Pavley, Price, Romero,
Aye.
aye. Runner, Semidian, aye. Steinberg, Strickland, Walters, no. Wiggins, Wolk, aye. Wright, Wyland, no. Yee.
Ayes 9, noes 7 on the urgency.
Blakeslee, aye.
Ayes 10, no 7 on the urgency. Ayes 10, no 7 on the measure. Senator Correa moves a call. Senator Lowenthal. You are listed as a floor manager on a couple of items under Assembly third reading file. Are you prepared to take up any of those items at this time?
Which one?
File item 78 or file item 79?
I'm prepared to take up file item 78.
File item 78. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 2578 by Assemblymember Jones, enacting to healthcare coverage.
Members, we heard this bill yesterday. Assembly Bill 2578 requires approval from the Department of Insurance of the Department of Managed Health Care or the Department of Managed Health Care before health insurance premiums may be raised. Rate hikes that are excessive would be rejected. Any proposed rate that is not acted on by the department within 60 days would be deemed approved. Yesterday, Anthem Blue Cross policy holders started receiving notices of 20% rate increases, even though the Federal Consumer Price Index for healthcare costs over the past year was only a 4% increase. And Anthem Blue Cross plans to raise rates again early next year. Blue Shield also, interestingly, has just announced rate increases of 29%. The California's Insurance Commissioner and the Department of Managed Health Care lack the authority to reject health insurance rates that are excessive. There are more than 20 other states that have the authority to reject excessive rate increases. New York passed their new law earlier this summer, and they have already started rejecting excessive rate increases before they go into effect. This bill, members, will give California the authority to protect consumers and businesses from excessive health insurance rates, just as we already do with auto and home insurance. Members, I ask for your aye vote.
Is there any discussion or debate? Seeing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onstead, Alquist, Ashburn, Blakesley, no. Calderon, no. Cedillo, Cogdill, no. Corbett, aye. Correa, no. Denham, no. DeSaulnier, aye. Ducheney, Dutton, no. Emerson, no. Flores, aye. Hancock, aye. Harmon, no. Hollingsworth, Huff, Kehoe, aye. Leno, aye. Liu, Lowenthal, aye. Negrete McLeod, Oropesa, Padilla, Pavley, aye. Price, Romero, Runner, Smidian, Steinberg, Strickland, no. Walters, no. Wiggins, Wolk, Wright, no. Wyland, no. Yee. Smidian, aye.
Please call the absent members.
Onstead, Alquist, Ashburn, Cedillo, Ducheney, Hollingsworth, Huff, Liu, Negrete McLeod, Oropesa, Padilla, Price, Romero, Runner, Steinberg, Wiggins, Wolk, Yee.
Ayes 9, noes 12. The measure is placed on call. Moving on to file item 79, Senator Lowenthal. Senator Lowenthal for file item 79.
I would like to place file item AB 2545 on the inactive.
On inactive. Thank you. Moving on to file item 80, Senator Pavley for Mr. Huffman.
Yes. Yes, thank you very much, members.
Please read file item 80.
Assembly Bill 2092 by Assemblymember Huffman, enacting to water.
Yes, members, this bill addresses a very critical but missing piece of the water package that we debated at length last year. It's a financing plan to successfully implement the Delta Plan. The Delta Stewardship Council is required under law that we passed here in this House to develop a long-term financing plan, and that's what this bill would do, just require that they develop a plan in a very open and transparent process with all the stakeholders.
But I want to make it very clear. This bill would not go into effect until the legislature adopted what their financing plan was. To be very clear about this, any new fees that the council recommends would have to be approved by the legislature. So this bill gets the Delta Stewardship Council to address this important piece of the puzzle, but yet if there are any fees attached to this, that would come before the legislature for approval. It's very important to move this process along. I ask for your aye vote on behalf of Assemblymember Huffman, who chairs the Assembly Water, Parks, and Wildlife Committee, and myself, who chairs the Senate Natural Resources and Water Committee. Ask for your aye vote.
Members, any debate or discussion? Senator Cogdill.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, I rise in opposition to this bill. If you'll all remember, when we took the action we did to approve the water bond along with the package that was negotiated back in November, there was a lot of discussion about whether or not that bond should be a general obligation bond that would be supported by the general fund, or whether or not it should be a bond that is supported by fee revenues. And the whole crux of the argument was, in our position, and one obviously that prevailed at the end of the day, was that as related to the responsibility that we all have to protect and maintain the environment, that the monies needed, or a good portion of them, to restore the Delta, and there's $2.25 billion for Delta sustainability in that bond, should be reflected in a general obligation bond, the debt service of which is shared by all of us as Californians, because, again, it's all of our responsibility to be good stewards of the environment. So, in my opinion, this bill is premature. I think we need to wait and see whether or not the water bond passes, so that we know the outcome of that $2.25 billion, which is obviously a lot of money that can go towards the health of the Delta, and then see where we go from there. I'm also very concerned about what happens to a lot of the districts north of the Delta, and the impact that this bill will have on them as it relates to the ultimate setting of fees. So for those reasons, I urge a no vote.
Members, any more debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Senator Pavley, you may close.
Well, thank you very much. And
Senator Pavley, Senator Padilla has a comment on this bill.
Thank you. Sorry
Senator
for
Padilla.
the slow raising of the mic here. Wanted to speak on this bill. I know appreciate Senator Cogdill's comments, and I would imagine the author is probably listening to my comments right now. Let me begin by saying the day is young, and if previous end of sessions are an indicator, we're going to be here for a while, and conversations are still going. When this bill first came through Senate Natural Resources Committee, the questions I asked at the time of the author had to do with this concern about the ability for some of the participants to voluntarily participate financially in funding the startup costs of the Stewardship Council on a voluntary basis, but recognizing that some folks would be maybe more motivated or have more of an ability to participate financially compared to others. From a fairness point of view, the question was raised, how do we make sure that the final product or recommendation of the Stewardship Council vis-a-vis fees, fee structure, and rates are not influenced unduly by those who did or those who did not participate in the front end. And while I recognize there was one small amendment taken since committee to this version of the bill, hey, Jared, I'm not sharing anything I haven't shared with you already. Changing the language from the Stewardship Council shall accept voluntary contributions to may accept voluntary contributions. The point was still that concern. How do we make sure that the early money doesn't influence the final fee rate or structure? And as I was reflecting on this bill over the weekend, another sort of basic question came to mind, which is, how much money are we talking about really? Because if it's a large sum of money, then an even greater concern about the early money and participants influencing the outcome. And if it's a small amount of money, then why do it this way? Despite our budget challenges, if it's a small enough amount of money, I gotta believe there's a way to find it in the budget and appropriate it for this purpose. Now, that's only half the bill. I know this bill also speaks to the plan that has to be put together and all the criteria and requirements of what that plan ought to consider. I don't think there's too much disagreement on that side of the bill. It's strictly about fairness and the money piece for me. So I've been shown estimates, if you will, to the tunes of maybe $30, $40 million in change in year one, 30-ish and change in year two. And so there's some conversations going back and forth about the need for this bill. Should we be able to find the money in the budget? But we're probably not going to have a budget by the end of the night tonight. So just to put on the record, colleagues, some of my questions and concerns as I'm still engaging in conversations with the author on how to address some of them. So for the time being, I'm still going to stay off the bill. And if anything changes, then I'm happy to talk to any of you as the evening proceeds.
Yeah.
Thank you, Senator Padilla. Senator Pavley, you may close.
Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate the comments. It's a very critical piece of the overall budget solutions to revitalizing the Delta and dealing with water delivery, that we come up with the financing plan. And by we, I mean the state of California, and that'll be under the jurisdiction of the newly formed Delta Stewardship Council. What they are tasked to do, which is consistent with the Delta vision and everything we spoke about during the water deliberations, is come up with a financing plan. They will need a financing plan, not just solely dependent on whether the bond passes or not. They will still need a financing plan to address these issues. If the bond doesn't pass, it will be incredibly important that they look at a financing plan, because as you know, bonds are mostly just for general obligation bonds are for capital improvements, and there's ongoing expenses and costs associated with moving and treating water through the Delta process. This bill also, I believe, addresses some of the concerns raised by fellow Senator Alex Padilla, and I've spoken to him a little about as well as the author of this bill.
Secretary, call the roll.
I haven't finished. I was just waiting. I've spoken to Senator Padilla about this as well as Assemblymember Huffman, in that the prepayment concept and idea would be very transparent, that we would be willing to have joint hearings between the Assembly and the Senate to see how that is working. It would be a voluntary funding credit system set up to cover early planning and administrative costs. That makes sense to me, but I do agree with Senator Padilla. It needs to be a very transparent process, and Assemblymember Huffman and I have agreed to take on that responsibility. This bill has broad support from a dedicated coalition of environmental groups, also all the water agencies involved, and the Delta counties. It's not often that you get all three of those groups to agree on one bill. They all agree that Assembly Bill 2092 is deserving of your aye vote.
Is there any other comments on this? Seeing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onnested? Alquist? Onnested, no. Alquist, aye. Ashburn? No. Blakesley? No. Calderon? Cedillo? Cogdill? No. Corbett? Aye. Correa? No. Denham? No. DeSaulnier? DeCheney? Dutton? Emerson? No. Flores? No. Hancock? Aye. Harmon? No. Hollingsworth? Huff? No. Kehoe? Leno? Aye. Liu? Aye. Lowenthal? Aye. Negrete McLeod? No. Oropesa? Padilla? Pavley? Aye. Price? Aye. Romero? Aye. Runner? No. Smidian? Aye. Steinberg? Aye. Strickland? No. Walters? No. Wiggins? Wolk? Aye. Wright? No. Wyland? No. Yee? Dutton? No. Calderon? No.
Ayes 12, no 17. Senator Pavley moves a call. Members, under Assembly Bill's third reading file, let me indicate that all committees have now concluded. I know there will be other committees a little bit later in the afternoon, but as of this moment, there are no longer any committees meeting off the floor. What I'm going to do at this point is to lift the call so that we can clear the desk. I'm going to ask for all members to please return to the floor. Sergeants, if you can please ask members to return to the floor. We're going to do a lifting of calls, and then we are going to continue working Assembly Bill's third reading file. Members, we're going to lift the calls. Let's begin with file item 71. Secretary, please read. Please call the absent members.
Correa? Oropesa? Wiggins?
Senator Hollingsworth replaces the call. File item, without reference to file, AB 1636, call the absentees.
Correa? Oropesa? Wiggins?
Senator
Yee. Denham is a no, and Runner is a no.
Senator Ducheney replaces the call. Members, just as a reminder, if your name is called, you can vote aye or no unless you wish to change your vote. It is not necessary to repeat your vote. File item 17, call the absentees.
Cedillo? Correa? Harmon? No. Oropesa? Steinberg? Aye. Wiggins?
Aye 17, noes 18. Senator Pavley replaces the call. File item 20, call the absentees.
Cedillo? Corbett? Aye. Dutton? Hancock? Aye. Lowenthal? Aye. Oropesa? Runner? No. Smidian? Aye. Steinberg? Wiggins? Wyland? Blakeslee no to aye. Wyland? Wyland no. Strickland no to aye. Walters no to aye. Dutton is a no. Dutton aye.
Call the
Wyland no to aye.
Call the absentees.
Cedillo? Aye. Oropesa? Steinberg? Wiggins? Calderon we have as aye. Emerson? Emerson no to aye. Correa no to aye.
Ayes 30, noes 6. The amendments are concurred in. File item 21, call the absentees.
Cedillo? Corbett? Aye. Hancock? Lowenthal? Oropesa? Pavley? Runner? Smidian? Runner no. Smidian? Steinberg? Wiggins? Wyland? Wyland no. Lowenthal aye. Smidian aye. Hancock aye.
Call the absentees.
Cedillo? Oropesa? Pavley? Aye. Steinberg. Wiggins.
Ayes 21.
Cedillo, aye.
Ayes 22, noes 14. The amendments are concurred in. File item 24. Call the absentees.
Cedillo. Aye. Cogdill. No. Corbett. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Hollingsworth. Lowenthal. Aye. Oropesa. Pavley. Aye. Romero. Runner. No. Smidian. Steinberg. Strickland. No. Wiggins. Wyland.
Romero, no.
Wyland, no. Romero, no.
Ayes 22, noes 12. The amendments are concurred in. File item 25. Call the absentees.
Ashburn. Cedillo. Aye. Cogdill. Corbett. Aye. Hollingsworth. Oropesa. Runner. No. Smidian. Steinberg. Wiggins. Wyland. Wyland, no. Cogdill, no. Smidian, aye. Ashburn, no.
Ayes 21, noes 14. The amendments are concurred in. File item 26. Call the absentees.
Ashburn. No. Cedillo. Corbett. Cedillo, aye. Corbett. Aye. Hollingsworth. Oropesa. Runner. No. Smidian. Steinberg. Wiggins. Wyland. Wyland, no.
Ayes 21, noes 13. The amendments are concurred in. File item 27. Call the absentees.
Ashburn. No. Cedillo. Emerson. Hollingsworth. Negrete McLeod. Oropesa. Runner. No. Steinberg. Wiggins. Wyland. Wyland, no.
Ayes 19, noes 13. Senator Padilla replaces the call. Senate Bill 965 without reference to file. Call the absentees.
Ashburn. Calderon. Cedillo. Denham. DeChaney. Aye. Negrete McLeod. Oropesa. Padilla. Pavley. Aye. Romero.
Aye.
Aye. Runner. No. Steinberg. Strickland. No. Wiggins. Wyland. No. Yee. Yee, aye. Okay. Padilla, aye. Denham. No. Calderon, aye. Ashburn, aye.
Ayes 23, noes 11. The amendments are concurred in. Senate Bill 1425. Call the absentees.
Onnested. Alquist. Aye. Ashburn. Aye. Calderon. Cedillo. DeChaney. Cedillo, aye. DeChaney. Dutton. Aye. Leno. Aye. Negrete McLeod. Aye. Oropesa. Padilla. Aye. Pavley. Price. Aye. Runner. Aye. Steinberg. Strickland. Aye. Wiggins. Wyland. Aye. Yee.
Call the absentees.
Yee, aye. DeChaney, aye. Calderon, aye. Onnested. Aye. Oropesa. Pavley. Aye. Craze and aye. Steinberg. Wiggins.
Ayes 36, noes 0. The amendments are concurred in. AB 2358. Call the absentees.
Onnested. No. Alquist. Aye. Ashburn. No. Cedillo, Ducheney, Dutton, Leno, aye. Lowenthal, aye. Dutton, no. Negrete McLeod, no. Oropesa, Pavley, aye. Runner, no. Steinberg, Strickland, no. Wiggins, Wolk, aye. Wyland, no. Yee, aye. Correa, we have as no.
Ayes 18, noes 16. Senator Desalegn replaces the call. AB 12, call the absentees.
Onstead, no. Alquist, aye. Ashburn, Cedillo, aye. Ducheney, Dutton, no. Emerson, aye. Hollingsworth, Leno, aye. Negrete McLeod, aye. Oropesa, Pavley, aye. Runner, Steinberg, Strickland, aye. Wiggins, Ducheney, aye. Ashburn, aye.
Ayes 26, noes 8. The bill is passed. SB 1391, call the absentees.
Onstead, no. Alquist, aye. Blakesley, Calderon, no. Cedillo, aye. Desalegn, aye. Ducheney, Hollingsworth, Huff, no. Leno, aye. Negrete McLeod, aye. Oropesa, Pavley, aye. Price, aye. Runner, no. Steinberg, Strickland, no. Wiggins, Wright, Wright, I don't know.
Call the absentees.
Blakesley, Ducheney, Hollingsworth, Oropesa, Steinberg, Wiggins.
Ayes 18, noes 15. Senator Yee replaces the call. Senate Bill 1029, call the absentees.
Onstead, no. Alquist, aye. Cedillo, aye. Ducheney, Emerson, Hollingsworth, Huff, Leno, aye. Liu, aye. Negrete McLeod, aye. Oropesa, Pavley, aye. Runner, no. Steinberg, Strickland, no. Wiggins, Huff, no. Emerson, no.
Ayes 19, noes 15. Senator Yee replaces the call. File item 96, call the absentees.
Onstead, Alquist, Onstead, aye. Alquist, aye. Cedillo, aye. Ducheney, aye. Dutton, aye. Hollingsworth, Huff, aye. Leno, aye. Liu, aye. Negrete McLeod, aye. Oropesa, Pavley, aye. Runner, aye. Steinberg, Strickland, aye. Wiggins.
Ayes 35, noes 0. The bill is passed. AB 52, call the absentees.
Onstead, Alquist, aye. Cedillo, aye. Ducheney, Dutton, aye. Flores, aye. Hollingsworth, Leno, aye. Liu, aye. Negrete McLeod, Oropesa, Pavley. Aye. Runner. Aye. Steinberg, Strickland. Aye. Wiggins. Duchesne, aye. Onnested, no.
Ayes 33, noes 1 on the urgency. Ayes 33, noes 1 on the measure. The bill is passed. Senate Bill 1456, call the absentees.
Onnested. Alquist. Aye. Cedillo. Aye. DeSaulnier. Aye. Duchesne. Aye. Emerson. Hollingsworth. Leno. Aye. Liu. Aye. Negrete McLeod. Aye. Oropesa. Pavley. Aye. Runner. Aye. Steinberg. Strickland. Aye. Wiggins. Yee. Yee, aye. Cray, we have as aye. Emerson, aye.
Call the absentees.
Onnested, aye. Hollingsworth, Oropesa, Steinberg, Wiggins.
Ayes 35, noes 0. The amendments are concurred in. AB 1955, call the absentees.
Onnested, aye. Alquist, aye. Calderon. Cedillo. DeSaulnier, aye. Duchesne, aye. Emerson. Hancock, aye. Harmon. Cedillo, aye. Harmon, aye. Hollingsworth. Leno, aye. Liu. Negrete McLeod. Oropesa. Pavley. Price. Runner. Steinberg. Strickland. Aye. Wiggins. Wright. Yee. Yee, aye. Hancock, aye to no.
Call the absentees.
Negrete McLeod, aye. Calderon. Emerson. Hollingsworth. Liu. Oropesa. Pavley. Price. Runner. Steinberg. Wiggins. Wright.
Ayes 20, noes 8 on the urgency. Ayes 20, noes 8 on the measure. Senator Correa replaces the call. File item 78, call the absentees.
Onnested. Alquist. Aye. Ashburn. Cedillo. Aye. Duchesne. Hollingsworth. Huff. No. Liu. Aye. Negrete McLeod. Oropesa. Padilla. Price. Romero. Runner. Steinberg. Runner, no. Wiggins. Wolk. No. Yee. Yee, aye.
Romero, aye.
Romero, aye. Onnested, no. Correa, we have as no. Strickland is a no.
Ayes 14, noes 16. Senator Lowenthal replaces the call. File item 80, call the absentees.
Cedillo. Aye. DeSaulnier. Aye. Duchesne. Aye. Hollingsworth. Kehoe. Aye. Oropesa. Padilla. Wiggins. Wright. Yee.
Ayes 16, no 17. Senator Pavley replaces the call. Senator Emerson, for what purpose do you seek recognition?
On Assembly, Madam President, on Assembly Bill 52 by Portantino, can I have immediate transmittal in Assembly?
Immediate transmittal on that item. Decibel note. Senator Strickland, for what purpose do you rise?
I don't know if this is appropriate time, but I was in Health Committee, and I'm carrying a bill for Assemblyman Fuentes, AB 1676.
AB 1676?
Yeah.
Yes,
I'd like to bring that up.
That item is eligible. And members, indeed, we are now going to turn to Assembly Bill's third reading file, including wharfed items. AB 1676. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 1676 by Assembly Member Fuentes, enacting to elected officials and declaring the urgency thereof to take effect immediately.
Thank you, Madam President. Senators, AB 1676 is a bill that's critical to our system of government and voting rights. AB 1676 would require one thing, simple, that elected officials live in their districts that they're elected to represent. It calls for forfeiture of office for a violation and civil or criminal penalties for fraudulent violation. The existing law requires that a person running for office reside in the district that they aspire to represent for a prescribed period of time in order to be qualified. The law is unclear and inconsistent as to whether they must continue to reside in the district if they're elected. The people of the district have a right to be represented by someone who lives in the district and understands the unique needs and desires of its constituency. AB 1677 passed out of both Elections and Public Safety Committee with no votes. It's supported by California Common Cause, ASME, the LA District Attorney's Office. There's no opposition to this bill. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Is there any discussion or debate? Is there any objection to using the unanimous roll call on this item? Secretary, call the roll.
Onnested. Aye. Alquist. Aye. Ashburn. Blakesley. Aye. Calderon. Aye. Cedillo. Cogdill. Aye. Cedillo. Aye. Corbett. Correa. Aye. Denham. DeSaulnier. Aye. Ducheney. Dutton. Emerson. Flores. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Harmon. Aye. Hollingsworth. Huff. Aye. Kehoe. Leno. Aye. Liu. Aye. Lowenthal. Negrete McLeod. Aye. Oropesa. Padilla. Aye. Pavley. Price. Romero.
Aye.
Aye. Runner. Smidian. Aye. Steinberg. Strickland. Aye. Walters. Aye. Wiggins. Wolk. Aye. Wright. Wyland. Aye. Yee. Yee. Aye. Correa is an aye. Cedillo. Aye to no. Runner. Aye.
Call the absentees.
Ashburn. No. Corbett. Denham. Ducheney. Dutton. Aye. Emerson. Hollingsworth. Kehoe. Lowenthal. Oropesa. Pavley. No. Price. Aye. Steinberg. Wiggins. Wright. Steinberg, aye.
Call the absentees.
Corbett. Denham. Ducheney. Emerson. Aye. Hollingsworth. Kehoe. Lowenthal. No. Oropesa. Wiggins. Wright. Denham. Aye.
Ayes 28, noes 4 on the urgency. Ayes 28, noes 4 on the measure. The bill is passed. Members, under motions and resolutions, pursuant to Senate Rule 29.10, the following bills are referred to the Rules Committee. Item number 22, which is Senate Bill 1072. Additionally, without objection, Senate Rule 29.3b will be suspended for AB 1699. There is objection. Senator Harmon. Yes, there is objection. Therefore, we will call the roll.
Thank you.
Secretary, please call the roll on the suspension of the Senate rules.
Onnested. No. Alquist. Aye. Ashburn. No. Blakesley. Calderon.
Aye.
Aye. Cedillo. Aye. Cogdill. Corbett. Aye. Correa. Denham. No. DeSaulnier. Aye. Ducheney. Dutton? No. Emerson? No. Flores? I. Hancock?
I'll give you a real present.
I. Harmon? No. Hollingsworth? Huff? No. Kehoe?
You're not even close.
I. Leno? I. Liu?
Oh, another one?
I. Lowenthal? I. Negrete McLeod? I. Oropesa Padilla?
Oh, yeah.
I. Pavley? I. Price? I. Romero? I. Runner? No. Semidian? I. Steinberg? I. Strickland? No. Walters? No. Wiggins? Wolk? I. Wright? I. Wyland? No. Yee? Yee, I. Correa, I. Ducheney, I.
Ayes 23, noes 11. The motion is adopted. The Senate rules are suspended. Senator Calderon for file item 105. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Concurrent Resolution 142 by Assembly Member Solorio relative to Cesar Chavez Day.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, ACR 142 calls upon all Californians to participate in appropriate observances to remember Cesar Chavez as a symbol of hope and justice to all people. Cesar learned about injustice early in his life. He grew up in a small adobe home in Arizona, which his family eventually lost to greedy bankers. He attended more than 30 elementary and middle schools, and after achieving the 8th grade education, Cesar left school to work to the fields full-time to support his family. In 1946, Cesar joined the U.S. Navy with the belief that it provide for him more opportunities beyond working in the fields. He served in the Western Pacific in the aftermath of World War II. When he returned to California, the only work he found was as a farm worker. He was contemptuous at the fact that he still faced such limited opportunities even after proudly serving his country. This is when he felt his calling to be the force of change. He was a symbol of justice, an educator of civil and human rights, a role model, and a beloved friend to many. In 1952, he met his mentor, Fred Ross, of the Community Service Organization in San Jose. It was there that Chavez's organizing efforts began. He went on to found and led the first successful farm workers union in U.S. history, the United Farm Workers Union. In September 1965, Cesar led a successful 5-year strike boycott that rallied millions of supporters to the United Farm Workers. He forged a national support coalition of unions, church groups, students, minorities, and consumers. The legacy of Cesar Chavez has touched many people throughout the world, and it is my honor to present this resolution today, recognizing his work in our great state. Cesar passed away on April 23, 1993 in San Luis, Arizona, just a few miles from his birthplace. His impact on our nation showed at his funeral services, which were attended by more than 50,000 people in Delano, California, the same community in which he had planted his seed for social justice. His motto in life, Si se puede, embodies the uncommon and invaluable legacy he left for the world's benefit. As a sign of respect for this great leader, dozens of communities across the nation have renamed schools, parks, streets, libraries, and other public facilities in his honor. Please join me in celebrating the life and legacy of Cesar Chavez.
Senator Harmon.
Question of the floor manager. What is the difference? Don't we already have a Cesar Chavez holiday in California?
Yes, we do.
What does this bill do that the existing holiday doesn't already do? I don't understand the necessity for this.
Cesar Chavez was a great man. He was a great leader.
I couldn't agree more.
You know, you can never do too much for great people, and this is something that I think we should. It's a reminder, not just his day, a Cesar Chavez Day, but a reminder to everybody what work he did.
But aren't we about 5 months late on this because it was back in March when we were supposed to be recognizing him?
That's true. Yeah.
I rest my case. Urgent aye vote.
Is there any objection to using the unanimous roll call? Secretary, call the roll.
Onnested? Alquist? Aye. Ashburn? Blakesley? Aye. Calderon? Aye. Cedillo? Aye. Cogdill? No. Corbett? Aye. Correa? Denham? DeSaulnier? Aye. Ducheney? Aye. Dutton? Aye. Emerson? Aye. Flores? Aye. Hancock? Aye. Harmon? Aye. Hollingsworth? Huff? No. Kehoe? Aye. Leno? Aye. Liu? Aye. Lowenthal? Aye. Negrete McLeod? Aye. Oropesa? Padilla? Aye. Pavley? Aye. Price? Aye. Romero?
Aye.
Aye. Runner? Smidian? Aye. Steinberg? Aye. Strickland? Walters? Wiggins? Wolk? Aye. Wright? Aye. Wyland? Aye. Yee? Yee aye. Correa aye.
Ayes 28, noes 2. The resolution is adopted. Members, we're going to turn to file item 98. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 1998 by Assemblymember Brownlee, enacting to solid waste and making an appropriation therefore.
Members, really? Wait. Let me erase here. Different speech. Members, choices. This bill is about choices. AB 1998 is about choices that we must make that are related to creating what every business in this state says it wants. What is that? They want stability and certainty. That's what every business in the state says. We want to know what the rules are, and we want to know how they apply, and we want to be certain, clear about what those rules say. Remember, choices. This is about sustainability. This is about recognizing our environment and recognizing what are the things we must do to preserve our environment and our quality of life of California. Members, this is about consumer choice. And members, this ultimately is about transparency. This bill reflects the best of the legislative process, and I want to commend the author for her efforts. It reflects the best of the legislative process because it's a compromise. And it's the type of compromise that doesn't please anyone. Now, as a former union negotiator, I learned that when you get to the point that everybody's made a compromise, everybody's made a commitment, everybody has something that they need, not necessarily what they want, that at that point you actually have a perfect compromise. And so I want to commend the author for making those compromises. Let me tell you a brief story, because I'm here on behalf of workers. I'm here on behalf of manufacturing workers. I'm here on behalf of the families that work at Command and at Cal Poly, 2 factories in Huntington Park and Vernon in my district in Los Angeles. I'm here on behalf of the workers at Roplast, another plastic bag manufacturing company. I was here and had taken a lot of calls about this bill. And then I got to my office one day and I looked at a stack of letters, thought out, well-reasoned, from workers in my district who were concerned about losing manufacturing jobs. In my district last year, we lost 2,000 jobs manufacturing at American Apparel. We also lost another 500 jobs at a packaging plant a few miles down the road, Overhill Farms. And then I hear from 500 other workers in factories in my district. So I went to visit them. And I sat in a room, took a tour of the plant, saw all that they were doing, and then I sat in a room with a bunch of families, workers at the factory who told me about how they relied on the health insurance that the employer provided to take care of their disabled children. I heard about how one of these single-parent mothers was providing for her children and had gone to school with my daughter-in-law. I heard about a man who told me about how his wife also had cancer and that he relied upon the health insurance of his provider. And I saw workers who looked like my father and my mother and comparable work environments just down the street from where my parents worked. And I heard their stories and their desperation about protecting manufacturing jobs in the community. And at that point, I knew there was nothing else I could do. I could not vote for the bill unless amendments were taken, changes were made that would make this a better bill. A bill that I said creates certainty and stability, that protects jobs, that protects our environment, and that is sustainable, that is forward-looking. And so I spoke to the author, and I said, look, I would love to work with you, but somebody makes plastic bags. Real people in a real factory who have real families, who take real pride in taking care of those families. Notwithstanding the concerns we have about our environment, notwithstanding the litter, the 125 tons of litter, notwithstanding their adverse impact on the ocean, there are still people who do this work.
There's a lot of holes in it.
And so the question is, how do we reconcile those two differences? A desire for the environment and a desire to protect jobs. And we've heard for the last 2 decades, with every initiative to protect the California environment, we've heard that it's a job killer. Well, members, I have to say to you, and I'm very proud to attach myself to this bill, that this bill that protects our environment is not a job killer, but in fact, in the words of the owner of the Roplast factory, is a job creator. And it's a job creator, and it's a job creator proposal that has the support of the Orange County Business Council, not thought of as a big flaming liberal environmental organization. It has the support of the Silicon Valley Business Council, not thought of as a liberal environmental organization.
I know.
Has the support of the San Francisco Chamber of Commerce. Well, 2 out of 3. So members, we have a compromise bill, and so let's talk about what our choices are. Our choices are certainty and stability, sustainability, job creation, job preservation. What's the alternative? I have some colleagues who think, well, you know what? It's not yet cooked. It's not yet ready. It's not quite a perfect bill. And we can work on it next year. But the fact of the matter is that if we don't solve this problem today, if we don't create a statewide standard, if we don't provide the leadership that is being called for, others will. The void will be filled. And I can say to you with certainty of the words of Supervisor Zev Yaroslavsky in Los Angeles County and our former colleague Mark Ridley Thomas, now the Supervisor of LA County, I can say to you in the words of the Mayor of the City of Los Angeles, our former Assembly colleague, that others will fill the void and they will fill it tomorrow. That if we don't take action on this bill, that we will proliferate the exact opposite of what it is that we say we want. It will be uncertain. It will be unstable. We will not create the jobs. We will not have the compromise. We will not have the sustainability because we will not have taken the choice of leadership. And so I ask you to choose leadership, to not respond to the barrage of commercials, as clever as they've been, to the intense lobbying, as formidable as it's been, to the kind of either-or thinking that is so prevalent in this building, and to recognize that this is a compromise, that it addresses every concern and question that we have with respect to jobs and the environment, that it's sustainable, and it deserves our support. Members, I ask for an aye vote.
Senator Onestad.
Madam President, point of parliamentary procedure. This bill should not be on the floor today. In rules, the author took amendments that amounted to over $2 million, which makes it a candidate for referral under Joint Rule number 10.5 to go back to the Appropriations Committee for a hearing and should be a candidate for the suspense file. So I would hope that we would take this bill at this minute and put it back to Appropriations.
Let me hear from the Chair on Appropriations. Senator Kehoe, I saw you rise.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, to be clear, the bill was heard in Appropriations earlier this year and was moved to suspense. In that time, the cost of the bill has come down. The $2 million for retooling is currently available in the recycling marketing sub-account. And when it was heard earlier, before the Assembly amendments took place, it was put in the suspense file. Since then, it has been, it was withdrawn to rules and is properly before us on the floor today. It is a matter of the Assembly amendments being taken up here, and they're not necessary to go back to Appropriations.
Madam President.
Senator Onestad.
That's not a correct interpretation of the rules. Joint Rule 10.5 says anytime a bill is amended where it has this kind of a fiscal accountability to it, it needs to be heard in suspense. When it was in suspense at a couple of weeks ago, the bill did not have this kind of an appropriation in it. So at this time, I would make a motion to stick with the rules, the joint rules of the Senate, 10.5, and send this bill back to the Appropriations Committee.
Members, Senator Onestad, under the rules, is asking for a motion to re-refer this bill currently on the floor to the Rules Committee. That is a proper motion before this body. Senator Onestad is asking for an aye vote. Senator Kehoe is asking for a no vote. It is a procedural process. Let's go ahead and call the roll. The motion is to re-refer to the Rules Committee, to Appropriations Committee. That is the motion. Secretary, call the roll on this procedural motion.
Onestad?
Aye.
Aye. Alquist? No. Ashburn? Aye. Blakesley? Aye. Calderon?
Aye.
Aye. Cedillo?
Sorry, no.
Calderon, aye to no. Cedillo?
No.
No. Cogdill? Aye. Corbett? No. Correa? Denham? Aye. DeSaulnier? No. Ducheney? No. Dutton? Aye. Emerson? Aye. Flores? No. Hancock? No. Harmon? Aye. Hollingsworth? Huff?
Aye.
Aye. Kehoe? No. Leno? No. Liu? No. Lowenthal? No. Negrete McLeod? Oropesa? Padilla? Pavley? No. Price? No. Romero?
No.
No. Runner? Aye. Semidian? No. Steinberg? No. Strickland? Aye. Walters? Aye. Wiggins? Wolk? No. Wright? No. Wyland? Yee. Wyland, aye. Yee. Yee, no. Hollingsworth, aye.
Ayes 14, noes 20. The motion is defeated.
Madam President?
Senator Steinberg.
Madam President, not finished with this matter because we disagree and think that it requires a suspension of Rule 10.5. I'd like the parliamentarian to issue a statement on this.
Senator Onestad, essentially the question of Rule 10.5 is a question before the body, the House. The members are the House, and the members have just decided this issue on a procedural motion, fairly heard, fairly brought before the body, fairly voted upon. This House has decided that it is inappropriate to re-refer to the rules to the Appropriations Committee.
My motion was not to suspend 10.5, which it would take to do that.
Senator Steinberg, we are back on the main presentation of Assembly Bill 1998. Senator Steinberg.
Thank you, Madam President. I have to exit the chambers for a moment, but I wanted to stand and speak in support, in strong support of the bill, and commend Ms. Brownlee for a Herculean effort. Sometimes these efforts take a little bit longer than one would like, but this is a very important and vital debate here. And the point that I want to make is this, that every time consumers are asked to change their behavior, our behavior, there's always a big outcry. And then we, society, adjusts. And then it's like life was never any different. Ode to Senator Simitian here for a moment, for just a moment. Spent a long time fighting for hands-free cell phones.
Oh.
Well, maybe that was a bad example.
It was.
But I must tell you, with all the hue and cry, it's the law of California, and society and the state has gone on just fine, and in fact, arguably safer. This is a good change, and it's one that consumers will embrace. We got to pass this bill. I urge an aye vote.
Senator Denham.
Madam President, members, I rise in opposition to this bill. Several different reasons. I just added a fourth procedural reason, which amazes me that we continue to ignore the rules here in the Senate. But on the other three, first of all, it's a government mandate. Now, I got up Sunday morning, went out and got the paper, which 2 months out of the year comes in a little plastic bag, because when it's raining, when it's foggy, having your paper get all wet before you bring it into the house just doesn't make any sense because you can't use the paper. Now, that bag's not part of this bill yet, but certainly it has been brought up many times that this is one of the main culprits of waste in the waste stream. I assume that it's going to be. After that, we got ready for church. We hopped in the car, went and got gas. I went to a little convenience store that has a little bakery next inside it as well, and got my stuff in a bag because it was baked goods. I didn't want to handle everybody in the family's stuff by hand, so put it in a plastic bag, which isn't part of this bill yet. This one is actually going to be banned a few years from now with the convenience stores. Went to church. After church, we went to the grocery store. At the grocery store, I took my meat and I put it in a bag because I didn't want my meat to leak juice all over the car. Went and put the produce into a couple of different bags. I didn't want to get any cross-contamination. Senator Flores knows all about that. We certainly don't want to have any food safety issues. Now, that bag is not part of this yet, but it will be. And then I went to the checkout store. Now, here's the amazing thing. The Denham family, as we often do when we go to the grocery store, 2 young kids, we decided we'd put everything back into the cart, took it out to the car. Meat's already in a bag, so that can sit there, stack it with all the other cold stuff. We didn't use any bags. We didn't need to because we decided. Because it was a personal choice. There was no government mandate. Nobody told me I had to do it. I just didn't need plastic bags at home. I could easily fit it into my car without one. My wife sometimes uses a reusable bag. That's her choice to do so. Our family did not need a government mandate to make that decision. The other issue is on the environment. Now, I know that there are some in this room that feel like they're doing the right thing for the environment, but the production of plastic bags requires 70% less energy than paper bags. Plastic bags consume less than 6% of the water it takes to make a paper bag. It takes 7 semi-trucks to transport the same number of paper bags as plastic bags contained in 1 semi-truck. This would result in additional greenhouse gas emissions that would be equivalent of adding 214,000 cars to California highways. 10 million new trees would be cut down. So I don't think it makes sense on the environment either. But I think the biggest issue here, while it was a big compromise and nobody really likes the bill, I wouldn't say that makes it a better bill. I would just say that makes it a bill that nobody likes. But the tax increase in this, and I do believe it's a tax increase, because the money for the paper bags isn't going back to the grocery store who's buying the paper bags. The money's going to create a new bureaucracy, much like the CRV account, a bureaucracy that will have enough extra money in it that we can probably pull at least $500 million like we have out of the CRV account just to fill our general fund. Has nothing to do with recycling, has nothing to do with this plastic bag. But we'll steal the money just like we have out of the CRV account because we haven't gotten our spending under control. It's a government mandate. It does more harm than good to the environment, and it's a tax increase. I'd encourage a no vote.
Senator Lowenthal.
Thank you, and Madam President. The previous speaker talked about a Sunday and going shopping. I invite the speaker to come to Long Beach in the winter. My district is at the mouth of the Los Angeles River. Each winter, after the rains come, there are thousands of pounds of marine debris, primarily plastics, on our shore. It costs us an astronomical amount of money to clean it up. From Long Beach, Charlie Moore, who is the head of the Al Galita Foundation, went out and measured the amount of plastic offshore versus the amount of plankton and found out there's 2.5 times more plastic than there is plankton. Also, he went out all the way out to the mid-Pacific. I'm talking about out past Hawaii, and found astronomical amounts of plastic that are there. It is granted that it is a slight inconvenience, but we as a society did very well before we had plastic bags. We are able to go and do recyclable and to have ongoing, other kinds of non-polluting kinds of ways of carrying our goods. I urge everyone to pass this bill. This is a minor inconvenience that takes us a major step forward. I ask for your aye vote.
Senator Hollingsworth.
Republican caucus, please.
Republicans are being asked to caucus in Cox's Clubhouse.
All right, there wasn't that much plastic.